It's Twin World with Forrest and Sage. There's no telling what they might say. It's Twin World, Forrest and Sage.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Twin World video. Today we're reacting to
a Gabbie Hanna video, finally.
A story time video. Didn't think we'd ever get one of these again.
I know.
But it's called My Neighbor Tried to Fight Me, Not Clickbait.
I love Gabbie Hanna so much. If you don't like Gabbie Hanna, you may leave the video.
We're
gonna get right into this. If you haven't seen any of the reactions we've done to Gabbie, we've done a lot. We've done music videos, we've done albums, we've done a whole bunch of other videos that she's had. So
yeah.
I don't know if we have a playlist, but
we should start one.
we probably should start one. But we'll link some videos at the top and all that fun stuff. So yes.
So we're gonna jump right into this.
Everyone always asks me, why don't you do story times anymore? Everybody always says, hey, we want the old Gabbie back. Well, hey, guess what, bitch? Here she is. Welcome back! Welcome back. For those of you who have been here for a while, you may know that I got my start here on YouTube by doing storytime videos. People constantly ask me to do story times again, and I don't, because it's just not who I am anymore. It's not how I relate anymore. Usually in story time videos, it's a situation where I got really mad, overreacted, because I'm overdramatic.
I admit I may have overreacted, and I hope you can see past it if I'm overdramatic.
Basically,
we react to that video.
And then I would come online and rant about it. The reason I don't do that anymore is because I'm not that person anymore. I used to have anger issues. I didn't know how to direct or communicate my feelings. And honestly, I enjoyed the dramatics of it. And also, I was a lot younger, and it was fun to be mad. It was a good time. It was entertaining. But now, as a 29-year-old woman with back problems and a mortgage, it takes a little bit more to ruffle my feathers. And when my feathers do get ruffled, I deal with them privately and calmly and maturely. So yeah, the reason I don't do storytime videos anymore is because I don't feel the need to act angrily publicly when something bothers me. It is immature, it is embarrassing, it's toxic, and it shows the mental capacity of a literal f***ing ape. However, that being said,
today is the day.
I dropped a bitch in the middle of the street in my neighborhood, and I'm just ruffled enough to come on here and tell you guys about it. But before we get into it, I would appreciate it if you gave this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel and turn on post notifications, because I have a lot of new music videos, behind the scenes, big announcements in regards to the book, and all types of fun, exciting stuff. So make sure you're subscribed and have your notifications on. And also, my Patreon got a full, complete makeover. So I do daily face-to-face video chats with people every single day. I do live group chats every single day, exclusive live streams, live Q&As, exclusive vlogs, photos that aren't posted anywhere else, daily blog posts and diary entries about where I am, like mentally, emotionally, all that stuff. So if you're interested in all of the extra content, go check out my Patreon. It's completely restructured and redesigned with new tiers so that each tier gets a ton more content, and that's patreon.com/Gabbie Hanna. So yeah, go check it out. I've been really having a lot of fun there and getting to know a lot of people there very personally, so love that. Now let's get back to the story, but first, let us breathe. As you guys know, I recently bought a house.
This is my house, bitch. I bought a house. This is my house. This is my
This is my house.
My house is unlike any place I've ever lived. It's literal suburbia. Honestly, I'm pretty out of place in my neighborhood as somebody who's under 30 and in entertainment living in this neighborhood. My house is in a really great school district, so 98% of my neighbors are families, like parents in their 30s, 40s, 50s with young kids. So yeah, my neighborhood is pretty much exactly what you'd think of when you thought of a suburb in Los Angeles. And I'm not saying that in a negative way. Everybody here is really great. By everybody here is really great, I mean everybody except one bitch who almost dropped, as middle-aged suburban people do, and as everybody should be doing. Everyone in my neighborhood has been taking social distancing very seriously here, as they should. When we're out and we see neighbors stop to chat, it's always 6 feet apart. When we're going for our runs or a walk or whatever it is, we're always 6 feet apart. Everyone, from what I've seen, is very cognizant and respectful of our surroundings, of the situation, of everything that's going on, of each other. If I'm out during the day, we see people walking their dogs, riding bikes with their kids, playing outside, which if there is a silver lining to be had in all of this situation, I would say that it's this. I think it's really nice to see that families are out and about playing outside with their kids again, because in all the time that I've lived here, I have not seen that happen, and I think that that's probably pretty universal. Now, I've heard rumblings of some of the goss going on the neighborhood forums, which exist. There's people people in these neighborhood forums complaining about people not making space and doing the 6-foot distance, and one of my neighbors was telling me how there's people on there bitching and it's kind of obnoxious because they're talking about everybody, couples, people with their kids, they're getting mad that everybody's not giving each other 6 feet of space. Do you people not realize that these people are sharing beds at night? Do you think that people that are married for 15 plus years are going home at night and sleeping 6 feet apart, giving their children bath
separate
time
bedrooms,
and bedtime are 6 feet apart? Like, no, that's not what this is about. Obviously, social distancing is not for family, people you live with. You're f***ed. If you're living with somebody in your house, you are f***ed. But it's
you are
people,
fucked.
like strangers, you know what I mean? So unless 2 people stop on the street and start making out with strangers, I can't really imagine much reason why people on these forums would be upset. Like, I don't think anybody's out here spitting on their neighbors. Alas. Here we are. My boyfriend Peyton and I are on a run. We've been going for runs every day because it's pretty much the only form of exercise that we can have right now. Sometimes we go during the day, but a lot of times we go at night after we finished all of our work to go let off some steam. There's less people outside, so there's less interaction. Great run. I'm feeling amazing. The air was cool. The energy was soaring. I'm in the best mood that I've been in weeks. We're laughing. We're enjoying everything. Life is beautiful. Things are starting to feel a little bit normal again. We're really starting to get a rhythm and routine. Book's been turned in. I don't have to worry about that anymore. That's a huge weight off my shoulders. A lot of the songs off the EP are completed. Huge weight off my shoulders. We're just laughing, talking, running, doing our intervals, minding our business. We do a few laps. We're on our way home and we're talking while we're running. We're looking at each other. We're looking at the houses. We're looking at the flowers. We're looking at the animals. So as we're running down the sidewalk, it's nighttime. It's dark outside, so we're on the sidewalk so we don't get hit by a vehicle. And we see a woman who is planted in the middle of the street and she waves at us. We smile and we wave back as we're running by, as human beings do. Move to the side as to let somebody pass. And that's not even a social distancing thing. That's like a human being thing.
Right.
You see somebody coming your way and you're in the middle of the sidewalk, you move over, you move over, you all move over as to make space between each other. Right? Right. We're squeezing to the left. She's not moving. We're squeezing even more to the left. She's not moving. We're literally in the neighbor's yard at this point, giving her space. And then we realized this wasn't a wave. It was a gesture to get the off the sidewalk. As in, hey, couple minding your own business on your run, could you please interrupt your run? Run off the sidewalk, over the grass, off the curb, around the cars, onto the street in the dark, and continue your run so that I can stay here firmly planted while maintaining a 6-foot distance? As in, I'm a single person on a run and I could easily move over as I see 2 people barreling towards me in a sprint, but could you move completely off the sidewalk and onto the road? As in,
into
I
oncoming traffic?
saw you first because I'm in black jeans and a black hoodie with the hood up in the middle of the night, and I've been firmly planting here and waving you down since you've been about 50 feet away. So the logical thing to do would be to also just step aside. But you two, can you move around me? So anyway, my boyfriend and I are pretty close in the neighbor's yard at this point, passing her, and she says from the dead center of the sidewalk that she saw us barreling down that we moved over on, and I have a witness, people. I was not alone in this. She said this grown 45-ish-year-old woman in a black hoodie and black jeans in the middle of the night and the middle of the sidewalk said to us, "That's not 6 feet, you f***ing assholes."
Oh my god.
As she's planted in the middle of the sidewalk. So we both kind of like skirted. We weren't prepared to hear a stranger yell profanities at us for doing nothing.
How incredibly rude.
And I say, did she just call us
No.
Because in my mind, there's no way that that could have been what happened. I've been under a lot of stress lately. I've been worried I was gonna lose it for a while now, but like maybe I'm hearing things. Maybe I just heard that wrong. And he was like, yeah, that was kind of weird. Because that's just the type of guy he is. Doesn't want no problems. And usually, me too, you gotta really push me to get me to the point where I feel I need to say something. So at this point, I turn around to see if she's still looking at us, and so help me, this woman is flicking us off as she walks away. So as I see my neighbor walking down the street flicking us off after she just called us assholes for moving into the neighbor's yard because she would not move, I said, I'm sorry, can you explain why you just called us assholes? And she said, people like us are hurting everybody. So I responded, still very calmly at this point. We didn't see you, so you waved us down. Don't you think you could have also stepped aside to help us create 6 feet of distance? And she doesn't respond to that. Instead, she continues walking, and from the back, I hear, shut the up, you f***ing loser. Huh?
What?
Huh? I'm gonna pause really quick because I just want to make sure that you're on this ride with me.
You're on this run, you know.
Run, minding your own business, getting a little air after being cooped up all day. Now imagine that somebody else on a walk decides to firmly plant themselves in the middle of the sidewalk. Now imagine that same said person who planted themselves like a f***ing boulder in the middle of the sidewalk has the audacity to tell you to move over 6 feet onto the street. And when you don't know what this means, she, your neighbor, calls you and your boyfriend
Fucking assholes.
and then turns around, flips you off, and calls you a fucking loser.
Nice.
I also want you to keep in mind that we're running. So this all happens in a matter of seconds. 50 feet, we get there between like 7 and 10 seconds. And when we saw her, we did move into the yard so that she could also move the other way. This woman stopped walking and stood still to tell us to move over instead of also just... Can I show you how far 6 feet is? It's about that much. Here's the part that really blows my mind. Say we're assholes for not giving her 6 feet of space. In this situation, she's literally getting mad in the moment that she's literally doing the exact same thing that she is mad that we are doing. So she's walking away, flipped us off, I'm a f***ing asshole, I'm a f***ing loser, and I'm like, did that just happen? And my boyfriend goes, let it go, she's a psycho. I encounter situations kind of like this, kind of frequently. I would laugh it off, talked about it for a few minutes afterwards about how weird it was, but for some reason, I don't know what it was, PMS, the adrenaline from the run, something came over me. It's even worse than pissing me off when I'm in a bad mood, it's pissing me off when I'm in a good mood. So she's flipping us off, turns the corner, and I swear to you, something took over my body and my legs just took me. So I do a quick little jog after this woman. It doesn't take many steps to catch up to her because she's walking, we're running, we've already established this. And I say, excuse me, ma'am, and she ignores me. All of a sudden, she doesn't want to talk. Puts her hood up more, has her headphones in, she's pretending that she cannot hear me. So I get to a place where I'm pretty much next to her and I say, excuse me, ma'am, I'm not trying to fight this woman because I'm not even trying to touch my face. I'm especially not trying to touch hers. But there was just something about the timing and the weirdness of the situation that brought out old me. And I just hated the idea of letting her leave this situation feeling good about herself. And yes, I know this is childish. And yes, I know that this is just about not letting her win. Yes, this is entirely ego. Yes, this is entirely pride. And I tell ya,
I don't care.
She stops. She looks at me. She says, what do you want? And I said in a calm voice, a little out of breath from the run, he had a lot to say back there. We're neighbors. Let's have a conversation. We can stay 6 feet apart. And I you not. She said, what? Do you want to fight? This 30-something-year-old woman in a black hoodie and black jeans in the middle of the night, standing in the middle of the sidewalk in the middle of the street said, do you want to fight? I instantly have to hold back laughter because this is absurd. And also, I could f***ing rock this woman. I'm not going to describe what she looks like, but come on. I'm trying not to laugh, but I don't laugh. Not yet, I say. No, I'm an adult. I'd like to have a conversation with our words 6 feet apart. This part right here, this is the part that makes this worth the time of doing a storytime video. This is the part that changes this from mildly weird and irritating to I have to tell somebody about this because you can't write this shit. I wish I was clever and funny enough to write a scene like this. This woman, the woman who was so angry that we didn't give her 6 feet, rushes me, gets this close to my face. You know when people say, oh, she got in my face? No. This bitch got in
my face.
And then takes her, probably not washed while singing happy birthday twice, hands and put her fingers in my face, threatening me, saying she's not scared of me and she's gonna fight me. I'm a bitch, this and that. Honestly, it was a constant stream of talking. But at this point, there's no holding back laughter because as this woman is in my face, I burst out laughing and say, ma'am, you're not 6 feet apart. Like, is this Curb Your Enthusiasm? So bent out of shape. About 6 feet, which are important to keep, but hey, honey, move the over. You're in the middle of the sidewalk. We did our part. You gotta do your part. Ma'am,
feet apart.
And I hate to say this because I know that it's not good.
Something is being
but
printed.
I'm still out of breath from the run, right? So I'm like, and she's right here, and she's worried about germs, and I'm in her face like, because I'm no punk. I'm not even gonna flinch. And I could feel her feeling it, and she didn't step back either because I'm not a punk, but neither is she. So anyway, I say, ma'am, you're not 6 feet apart. And I've never heard somebody say more syllables without saying a single word before in my life. She said, you don't, I just did. And I was like, what? And I'm just over here dying, laughing at the irony of this woman being so adamant and being in my face and her feeling my breath on her face. Like this total lack of self-awareness of calling somebody a asshole for not moving far enough over for you and then stepping this close to their face. It's just the tastiest hypocrisy I've had in a while. But finally she spits something out. She says, it doesn't matter if I'm close to your face. You know why? I'm not sick. And then she said, and I know you're not sick either because you're on a run. First of all, the level of pure idiocy. We all know there's asymptomatic carriers. We all know that there's an incubation period. You don't know if you're sick. You don't know if I'm sick. You don't know who's sick. That's the point of the 6 feet distance, right? And I think she realized that because then she quickly followed up with, don't talk to me. Stays in my face. So I said, still calmly at this point, by the way. So you're allowed to shout profanities at me and my boyfriend as we walk down the street, but then if we respond to you, then we shouldn't talk to you. And this is something I find in a lot of toxic people all the time. They will say whatever they want to say. They will insult you. They will accuse you of something. And then if you respond, they say that you're harassing them. So I said, repeating the sentiment that I said earlier, don't you think that if you saw us coming that you could have also moved over? You didn't notice you. You're wearing a black hoodie and black jeans. I also wanted to be on the record that every single word I was saying, she was talking over incessantly. It was a constant stream. So I just said again, why do you think it was our duty to move out of your way? You saw us coming on a run. You don't think you could have also moved out of our way? Don't you think it's a little entitled that you can barricade the sidewalk and then instruct people to get off of it? And her response was, I didn't hear you. You know why? I'm wearing headphones. So I said, but you saw us though, right? Because we saw you waving. We waved back and smiled, and then you still stood in the middle of the sidewalk and then waved at us to get off the sidewalk again. Her response was, I was trying to walk home. And I said, okay, we were trying to run home. And listen, everybody, again, I know this is petty. We're talking about who should move over for who, but that's not what this is about. This is about you called your neighbors fucking assholes, fucking idiots, fucking losers, bitches, because what? So this is all happening really quickly, and at this point my boyfriend is coming up around the corner too. Calm and breezy as can be, very patent of him, and then she immediately starts verbally assaulting him. He hasn't said anything. So he just shakes his head, gives a little smirk and goes, says to me, let's go. So I was like, yeah, okay. Grab his hand, we start walking away, and then as we're walking away, she gestures to us holding hands and goes, oh, does this woman really think that social distancing means 6 feet apart from the people who live with you? All couples are done kissing, hugging, sharing space, sharing beds. Parents set up their dining room tables with 6 feet apart for all their kids, so all their kids are 6 feet socially distanced. I think that you all know this, but this doesn't apply to people in your household. So we're walking away, not saying anything, literally anything. And this woman, a constant stream of talking, the woman who started this whole thing by yelling profanities at us, as we're walking away from the situation says, you know what your problem is, bitch? You can't stop f***ing talking.
What?
My boyfriend and I, our backs still turned to her, look at each other, and our jaws just drop like, and we're just both in awe, laughing to ourselves, still walking away. Because after she said, I can't stop talking, this is the woman who called me a f***ing loser, bitch, asshole, asked me if I wanted to fight, literally stepped to my face and put her finger in my face, didn't let me get a word in at all without talking over me, is still screaming into our backs about how I can't stop talking. So we take a few more steps, she's still going. I turn around and say, hey ma'am, you're still talking. She didn't hear me because she hadn't stopped talking. So we're still walking and she's still yelling down the street about how I can't stop talking. And I said, hey ma'am, you're the only one still talking. And then we keep walking. She's still yelling into our backs. And finally, I take a third time. I turn completely around and face her and say, hey ma'am, it appears you can't stop talking. Remember what I said earlier about never having heard somebody say so many syllables without saying a single word? Yeah, she just beat her own record. I'm just walking home with my headphones and dude, listen, no. So listen. We're all really stressed right now. Everybody's scared. Nobody knows what's going on, but be kind to each other. And part of me honestly feels really bad, and I felt bad about it all night. I just kept thinking, how miserable does somebody have to be to stop a stranger on the street and call them a f***ing asshole? I felt really validated in this because my boyfriend is the most docile, calm, peaceful human being in the world, and even he was like, what the f*** is this bitch's problem? We didn't do anything wrong. We were literally in this person's yard trying to give her space and she's not moving over. And again, that's not even the part that pissed me off. I wouldn't have even noticed that. It wouldn't even have registered. I'd just be like, oh, she probably didn't see us coming, whatever. It was the fact that she then shouted profanities at us and then steps to my face and then says, don't talk to me, as if you didn't start this interaction in the first place. And I would like the main takeaway of this to be, if you can't back up your of what you're saying, keep your mouth shut. Because there's a lot of people that want to walk around this earth acting super tough, and then the second they're confronted with something, they turn it on you. If you're gonna bark, be ready to bite, but also just shut the up.
Right.
Anyway, thank you guys for letting me rant. This has been a me that I haven't seen in a while, and hopefully won't see again anytime soon. Never again, she's back. I have another story time coming out this Saturday. Subscribe, turn on your notifications so you don't miss it. I do wish I could just let it go, but there was just something about it that's like, you're my
Can't wait for that.
I'm so done with entitled people in my life. This woman literally thought that the world revolved around her to the point where she can plant herself firmly in the middle of the street and everybody else has to move around her. What the type of person thinks like that? Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Hey, go check out my Patreon. I've been posting a ton of content there. I have one-on-one video chats with people every single day. I do live streams, live Q&As, exclusive vlogs that don't make it anywhere else on the internet, time-lapse drawings. I've been leaking my music like crazy and my poetry book like crazy. So go check out my Patreon. It's patreon.com/Gabbie Hanna. New music April 17th.
So
Dandelion
excited.
single comes out. There's an EP coming out in May. And stay tuned for book announcements. This is this week's Showstopper of the Week. Thank you so much for everything. These are all of my lovely patrons. These are my top 2 tiers, so thank you guys very much. And as always, I love you very much. Thank you for being a part of my family, and I will see you next time.
Gabbie Hanna, I love you so
Amazing.
much. I love your story times. They're always so good.
I can't wait for the next one.
Exactly. I can't wait for the next one. In the comment section below, what do you think of this lovely story that has been told to us?
6 feet apart.
6 feet apart. What do we not get? Can't wait for your new music. Of course, we're going to be reacting to it
So
and
excited
listening
for
to
the
it
new
every
music.
single fucking day.
But that's
Yeah.
pretty much it.
Thank you guys so much for watching.
Sure you like, favorite, and subscribe.
Share their friends with us.
Well, it's but Gabbie Hanna, you know we love you.
Love you so much.
Bye.